Alright, good morning. Welcome back to the channel. My name is George Lawfrey, and thanks for watching. It's kind of a crazy day for me. Found out some interesting things that I don't want to talk about just yet on this channel. I'll do a video about them later on for the other channel, for the news channel, or maybe I'll put them on here. I don't know yet. We'll figure it out. And there goes my phone going nuts, if you didn't hear it. If you did hear it. So I've got a movie called 8 Below. It's a Disney movie from, what is this thing? From, here we go. It's from 2006. So that's before Disney went woke. Before they started trying to tell you how to think. Before they started trying to preach to you about being inclusive. Anyway, so we've got a movie called 8 Below. This Jerry Shepard, a guide to the National Science Foundation and the Atlantic Research Base, has asked UCLA Professor Davis to take him over to find a rock. So basically, it's just a survival story in the Arctic tundra. It's more about the dogs because he's got a bunch of shepherds, dogs, and he's got guides, dog sled adventures, and he just kind of takes this guy over from base camp over to this mountain to find a rock. And the dogs guide him and help him and help rescue the professor. And then once it snows, he finds this rock at base of McClaren strips, Elkburn Peak. Anyway, he falls into the, on the trip back, he falls in because the weather's moving in. He falls into the water. He freezes himself to a rock, and then one of the dogs runs over with a rope and saves him. They pull him out, then he dumps all the gear that they were packing and puts the professor in the sled, and then runs him back to the base camp. The dogs lead the way after the ice and snow gets so bad they can't understand it or can't see. Dogs use their nose to find their way. Dogs are good at those type of things, especially shepherds. But this was a pretty good story. It's a heartwarming story. They make it back. The guy survives. They fly all the people out, on the next plane out because, the storm's imminently closing, and it's just a big suspenseful fight. They stayed on the mountain an extra day longer than they should, or 2 hours longer than they should. And I do refill my coffee cup. But it was a risky adventure, and then that's the first half of the movie, and then he finds a way to get the Huskies because it was they closed the thing for the winter team, so they couldn't go back. There was no way to go back and get the shepherds at 8 Below in the Arctic tundra because he left them there because there was no room on the first flight. They were supposed to fly back and get him because his hands were all frostbitten and he couldn't take care of them and do anything. And yeah, it was a pretty good movie. This is when Disney movies were actually made for kids. This movie I kind of liked. It something I was watching in the '80s, or when it came out. But still, what happened with this movie is kind of a heartwarming rescue movie, and then it's kind of got the twist where the dogs are stuck up in the Arctic and he's back in Oregon or Washington or wherever, trying to figure out going through all the people that are in the film, trying to figure out how to get back to rescue the dogs because they left them up there for 8 months or something like that alone with no food, no water, tied up to New Zealand. So he ends up figuring out how to get down to the furthest point on land, and he gets there, and he waits in the bar looking for somebody to take him over there so he can go get his dogs. And, you know, you gotta admire the effort. Never give up, never quit. Never even do anything. Then, after the scientist gives a speech and the team, he starts thanks, or when he's doing his speech, he's starting to thank the team that got him there, and he wouldn't be alive without the dogs. And so, towards the end of the movie, they go, oh, okay, it was 2 months they were alone instead of 8 months. I was thinking it was 8 months for some reason, but it was 2 months they were alone. I guess I ought to read my notes better before I start opening my mouth. But everybody declined him, and then so he starts trying to figure out how to get there on his own, and you know he ends up getting down to where the ships leave, closest to the Arctic, and everybody's telling him no because they're not icebreakers and they're not ships that go that direction. And so anyway, the girlfriend and the whole team ends up showing up at the end, and the doctor ends up finding out that he has extra money, so they fly a helicopter to a ship to a half-track tank thing. They go rescue the dogs, and you gotta watch to find out how many make it. Did any of them make it? Yeah, I don't know. We'll find out. You have to watch it. But I enjoyed the movie. It's a Disney movie, so the dogs did pretty good. And it turned out to be a real good movie, and getting back and going forward. Everybody lived happily ever after, and you know, I like them kind of movies, the happily ever after Disney movies. So anyway, this thing was pretty good, and it starred Paul Walker, you know, our Fast and Furious star that died in a car accident. But they released this one February 17th, 2006 in the United States only. Buena Vista Pictures distributed this. That's interesting. That's different. It ran 120 minutes. It was in the United States English. They spent $40 million on this. Seems like everything's tripled and doubled. At the box office, it made $120.5 million. So it looks like they made a profit on that one. So they did a pretty good job with that movie. I liked it. I would definitely recommend you go watch this Disney movie. Not on Disney Plus, but you can still get it on DVD. But, you know, how that goes. Anyway, so take care, be safe, and we'll see you with the next one.